Hello students, our topic for today is primary and secondary research. In this video, we will be covering primary research and we will be having another part for the same video in which we will talk about samples and secondary research. So whenever you are researching, you can gather the information in two ways, by doing primary research or secondary research. So what is primary research? Primary research means that you will be doing research or you will be collecting the information from the scratch. For example, you will be directly contacting the customers. So any research when you will do from the scratch and you are not getting the already done documents from some place, it's called primary research because you are doing it from the scratch, you are doing everything on your own. So now what's secondary research? Secondary research means that you are going to get information that is secondary. It means you are not doing anything yourself. You are getting the information that is already done by someone, some department, some people, some agencies. You are just going to get that information and you are going to use it according to your need. Now in this video, we will discuss primary research in detail. We will talk about all the methods that are used for primary research, their advantages and disadvantages. So what are the types of primary research? There are four main types of primary research. These days, people are going for many other types also, but the four common types we are going to discuss: questionnaires, interviews, focus groups, and observations. We will do each of these methods individually with their advantages and disadvantages. Before we'll start our detailed discussion about the types of primary research, we should know what are the stages in the primary research. So the first stage is that you want to find out the purpose of your research. That's why you are doing it. Then you'll find out which suitable method you will use. You will do interview or questionnaire or any other method. Next stage will be you'll decide how many people you will use for your research. In the fourth stage, you will do the research. Then you will collect the information and analyze the results. You will try to analyze and understand. Then you will report the findings to the required person or the right person or the department. Now we'll do the first method of research. It's called questionnaires. Questionnaires are the most basic type of primary research. You will do the research from scratch by asking questions. You can do it through phone call, email, or maybe face to face. So what are the advantages for questionnaires? First of all, you will be getting a detailed information. If you already made a lot of questions, you will be getting a detailed information. You will be getting a detailed opinion about your product. But the disadvantage is, if you haven't made your questions clearly, then you will not be getting a valid information. So in order to make right opinion, you need to make right questions. Secondly, another advantage is that you need to spend a lot of money. You need to make the questionnaires, you need to spend a lot of time thinking about the questionnaires, and then you need to maybe print it, email them, put it on the website, a lot of work, a lot of time it requires. And then in the end, when you will analyze the result, all the results, it will take a lot of time. So let's move to the next method. It's interviews. We all are very much familiar with the term. Interviews means asking questions. You will prepare your questions beforehand and you will go to the desired person, maybe your customer or potential customers or the person you want him or her to be your customers. You will ask them those prepared questions. The topmost advantage for this method is that you will be able to explain the question. If the person is not understanding, he's misunderstanding something, you can explain. So it's not a problem. You'll just explain any unclear concept. Second advantage for this method is that when you are taking the interview, especially if it's face to face, you will be able to get the hint of that person's likes and dislikes. So what are the disadvantages? It's extremely time consuming because you need to allocate one person for one interview. Then it is very expensive. Obviously, you need to pay money to this person. Now, the third disadvantage for this method is that sometimes the interviewer can lead the person to reply according to his preference. For example, if you're going to say, so do you agree that your colors are extremely vibrant and amazing? So the person would find uncomfortable saying no. So your question sounds biased here. You need to be very careful when you are doing interviews that you will not ask someone something that will lead them to answer in a certain way. Now let's discuss the third method for primary research. It is called consumer panels. In this method, group of people provide information and test new product, then discuss. So there are a variety of ways to do this. Sometimes you give the product to the customers and or anyone, maybe if you're going to the hypermarket, you're going to give them free samples, or maybe the doctors will give you the free sample of some product, maybe toothpaste or any face wash. And then after some time, they will contact you and ask you for your opinion. Another way is that you might have seen these type of things on YouTube, that they make people sit in one group and make them try their product and they ask for their opinion. So this is consumer panel, where you will take customers, ask them to come, invite them, and then make them use your product, and you will take their opinion. Now we'll discuss about their advantages and disadvantages. So the advantages, you will be getting a very detailed opinion, because the person is there most of the times, or you are making the person use the product for a while, so the person can give you a very detailed information or experience about the product. Another disadvantage that is very common in every single primary research method, it is that it is extremely time consuming. You will be giving the products, you will be waiting for them to try the product, and then you will be getting the feedback. So it is extremely time consuming. Now we'll discuss another method for the primary research, that is called observations. So what happened in observations, that you are going to observe your customers, potential customers, or your target market. So you will be recording the information, watching the information, or you will be doing audits. So what it is, we're going to understand it now. So I'm going to give you a very common example. You might have noticed, or you might know, that in the hypermarkets and in many public places there are cameras. So we all know these cameras are for the security reasons, but sometimes these hypermarkets use these cameras for their research purpose also. They'll try to find out that on which product customers are spending more time, on which aisles they are spending more time, and which product they are noticing more, on which product they are spending time looking and reading the details and checking the price labels and leaving. Another example is that, I'm not sure that you're familiar with this or not, but even your TV is recording your information. You are spending how much time in each of the channel, it gives information to these channels. So on the basis of this, the information is recorded, and these shows or these channels, they get sponsorships. Now, what are audits? Audit means that you will be checking that how much products are sold. You're going to keep the record, and on the basis of that, you will be taking decisions. For example, you have sold 500 chips bags to one store. Next month, you are going there and asking them how much is left. Is basically the type of audit that you will inquiring how much is sold, and on the basis of that, you are analyzing that your customers like your product or not liking it. So the advantage for this method is that it's not expensive. You are getting the results that are already done by the hypermarkets, or you are just installing the camera, so it's not expensive. But the disadvantage is that it gives basic figures and it doesn't really provide the business that why the customer is taking some decisions. So I'll give you example for this. So let's say I'm in one hypermarket and there is a camera that is observing me. So I was in, let's say, in a chips aisle. I was noticing a lot of chips, and then I started looking at few bags. I checked and I left it, and I moved to another aisle and started buying maybe fruits or vegetables or maybe granola bars or anything. So when they will watch this video, they can assume a lot of things. Maybe I find those chips expensive, or maybe I am just too much health conscious that I left from that place by just noticing and not buying anything. So it means that observations do not give you accurate results. It depends on your perception and how you will take that information. Now we will discuss the last method of the primary research. It is called experiments. You might have encountered this a lot of times in the hypermarkets or whenever you go out in public places. Especially to the malls, you will notice that whenever you are passing by, people or the shops who are selling perfumes, they give you samples. They spray a piece of paper or anything and they give you these things and ask you to smell. So it is experiment basically. Even sometimes you have noticed that in some stores they give you free sample of food. Maybe it's mayonnaise or ketchup. They will make you try this by offering you some small size of appetizers. So why they are doing this, we are going to talk about it. Sometimes when the company come up with new flavors or they launch a new product, they want customer feedback. But especially if it's a food product or if it's a smell or anything that the customer will use, they cannot get the idea before launching or before making the customer use it. So they just offer free samples of their product, ask people to try, get the feedback and make necessary changes. This is what happened in experiments. Now, what are the advantages? That it's extremely easy to set up and carry out. You will just get a sample, you distribute it, get the feedback, and yes, you are done. But it has some disadvantages. What are they? First of all, not everyone give you their real opinion. For example, you're offering, let's say, ice cream, a free sample of ice cream in any grocery store or any hypermarket, and you place your stand in the corner. You are offering everybody your new ice cream flavor. People are passing by, you're asking them to try your ice cream. Everybody is trying it. You ask a lot of people that how is it, and they're just saying yeah, it's good, because they do not have really time to give you their detailed feedback or true feedback. They just want to get rid of the situation. They got the ice cream, they are happy, they will walk away and they will not give you their real opinion. Or sometimes there are some people who are extremely nice, but being nice always never work. Why? So you ask someone to try your ice cream, they tried it, they find it that it's not very tasty and the sugar is very less and the flavors are not very good, and you ask them how's it, but they feel that you might feel bad if they will tell you about their real opinion. So they will just lie and they will say yeah, it's nice, because they consider that if they are going to give you the right feedback or the right opinion, you might get hurt, and they are just too nice to make you hurt. Now, another example is that only particular kind of customers are visiting those markets. So you are giving samples, but not everybody who might like your product are coming to that place, and you are not getting the right opinion. So that's a problem. So when you will be going to any place and distributing your samples, you are not getting everyone from the market. You are not targeting everyone from the market. You are only targeting people from that certain area or people who come to shop at that place. So your research is not valid, or your research is not very clear, you can say, because you. So we are done with today's lesson. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or any comments, you can comment under this video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.